as one of my gym bros like to say, no pain, no gain, which I don't agree with, but at this point, it really seems like no pain, no gain. Team HAQ, this has been one of the most painful lessons for the year of 2026. But still, lifelong learning, as we like to call it, you have to keep learning.
I mean, that's normally the 3 L's, but for most British households, it's live, laugh, love. And I don't think there's a lot of live, laugh, and loving going on to the side of THQ for now. Maybe so on Dominator Esports if they win this last game, but going into the banned draft here for game number 3, it's going to be the Chicha being banned out here. I feel like this is probably something they don't want to give over to Dominator Esports after already displaying how well they've played with some of these heroes that are just kind of more conventional, sort of like not sought for picks.
I don't know. At this point, simply because of DMT's performance, I feel like give them anything, they can just make do, right? And not just make do, they can shine on that. Now, Team HAQ, they're gonna take out the 2 prior heroes, which is the Chicha as well as the Haya here. Dominator Esports, this opens up so many doors for them.
Oh, he does indeed, right? I mean, they still have the likes of the Fire Ninja to be available. They have the Arlie if they really want to go for it. So much available. I mean, the Chano as well hasn't actually surfaced for either of these 2 teams yet. So, but no, it looks like it's going to be THQ that's going to give Man the Fire Ninja, the Mai Shiru Nui in this game number 3.
So, Team HAQ, this is a great potential for the pay, right? Now that you have the Fire Ninja, very early game centric, very aggressive as well, that's going to be a great pick for the side of Team HAQ. But Dominator Esports is going to respond in kind as well. Okay. Oh, we have a good combination here.
I entrust you.
Oh, they banned out the Tome Master last game, and now they are going to go for maybe potentially like, hey, look, we're playing mental games here. We're gaslighting you. We banned it last game, saying, oh, we don't want to go against that, and then you turn out it's like, hey, we want it, and they've got it.
Okay, Team HAQ, interesting. They pick up the Earthshaker here, but only also because you know, the number of big tanks support role no longer available, right? They've already used the Zhang Fei, they've taken up the Lapu Lapu as well, so these are not available for Team HAQ. Now, Dominator Esports, I like the pick of the Toll Master, which is Liang, but Team HAQ, this is a great answer. 3 different knockups to stop both the Warsing and the Toll Master.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's knockup potential you're going to need here for THQ. So team fight potential, especially trying to maneuver around these suppressions. But what's the one thing that's going to make it a little bit harder to maneuver around in these team fights? It's going to be that Princess Frost come through here for the side of Dominator Esports. You drop that Winter is here. You drop that Frigid Prison. You are going to be locking these... What was once a slippery hero locked in place, and then Dominate Esports, I feel like they just need to kind of fill out a little bit of damage here. Maybe give TNX something very bolstery in this jungle.
Maybe someone who forces out, you know, all the NTCC properties at this point, right? Dominator Esports, I like this draft. We've seen this before. But Team HAQ, I think here's the winning condition for them, right? Earthshaker and Seafarer, the 2 of them, they need to make sure that those anti-CC skills are used at the correct time, specifically against the potential catch of the Razor Cavalry from the Warsing on Tufts and Jill's Frigid Prison on Princess Frost. If you manage to do that and stop the Liang Tome Master by L, I think this game goes wonderfully for the side of Team HAQ.
It could do, but I mean, looking at the ban phase, right? They've not banned out the Luna, they've not banned out the Jing here, potentially here for Dominator Esports. They obviously lock in the Parasola here for CC, so even if they decide to go for a tank here into the jungle, maybe potentially something like the Ogre, maybe something like the Flowborn tank as well, they're still going to have a lot of firepower here, especially for CC, but they do take up the China for themselves on the side of HQ.
Okay, so 50-50 matchup on the side of Team HAQ here. Lola, I think this will be the first game ever that he actually has an advantage against DMT. But at the same time, if L is going to be piloting this Liang in the support role, that kind of cancels out a couple of things from Team HAQ. This requires Nono as the Earthshaker to really soak up damage so that he can get the wave clear going.
Exactly. I mean, it's a bit of a double, a battle of the double smites, right? Obviously, when you're in the mirror domain here with the Broken Mirage, you obviously get double the smite here as well. But then also over to the side of THQ on the Featherfoot, you have the Hardened Jade Seal and your smite as well. So it's going to be a pretty clutch deed here for both of these two junglers if they're contesting these neutral objectives.
Actually, I like this, right? The draft by both ends. This truly is the hunt or be hunted lineup. Because if you get that initial initiation you're looking for by either team, I think it's a guaranteed kill. You win the team fight off of that.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever gets the first pick of the bunch here, obviously into the team fights, whoever gets the pickoffs onto and makes it a bit of a handicap here. Like you said, it's either hunt or be hunted, kids. So let's see if THQ fancies the hunt or fancies to be running away with their tail, trying to be pinch hit here by Dominator Esports.
Yeah, I mean, this game is all about the clash lanes, right? I feel like the clash lane setups are going to be super important here. If Tufts gets the Razor Cavalry catch, that's a soft guarantee into the Frigid Prison for the Princess Frost on Jill. And then, you know, we know what happens next. But on the flip side, for the side of Team HAQ, if the Seafarer on John, if he gets that set sail up to the T, that also opens up a lot of doors for buy on this Fade to finish the job.
Very true. I mean, there is a lot of setup here. I mean, from historically within this series so far, in terms of setup potential, I mean, Dominator's definitely showing that they've been able to set up these big initiations, these big plays, more so than THQ, but I'm willing to be proven wrong, and I'm pretty sure chat is willing to be proven wrong as well, right? Nobody wants to see a 3-0. We want to start to see some of these series start to go the full length here as well, just because we love the action come through from these players. And obviously, this is the last day of the group stage, so this is the last day that these teams know that there is no real kind of potential elimination for them. After today, after the break, they come back. There is time to be. It's when the realization hits is the fact that you may be out of the competition.
Yeah, and that's additional pressure. Whether teams thrive off of that pressure, or the teams will, you know, shine, or even be taken down because of that pressure itself, that remains to be seen at this point of time. Of course, we're gonna hold a short technical pause at this moment just to fix a couple of things here. But in the meantime, what do you think about this draft so far? Is this something that Team HAQ can use to shine?
Hopefully, but I mean, hey, Team THQ now have Spartanka and Noel in the audience to give a bit of support, so maybe that'll be enough for them to actually get the win, right? Obviously, fellow countrymen and countrywomen coming through here to give support to THQ, but yeah, in terms of the draft here, obviously, you've already alluded to the fact that there is a lot of setup between these two Ts, like you said. If the Seafarer, the Sunset, is able to catch onto the T here, it's a potential great starter for the likes of the Fire Ninja, the Earthshaker, to then kind of like capitalize on that and kind of further increase the crucial crowd control potential here from the side of THQ. But the potential of catch out here, obviously, you do have the Tome Master, right? So you can imagine that L is not going to be trigger happy with these suppressions. He's going to be timing these pretty well, and he does have the 6-7. There we go. We do have the fact that he can force out the flash as well as that combo. So there is many factors here at play for both Dominator and THQ.
Yeah, both teams need like the perfect setup, and so we're going to set up as well. You know, Team HAQ and Dominator. Our sizes are M for jerseys. You can send them over to us. I will come over to Indonesia to collect them.
Yeah, we want more jerseys. We got fairly little jerseys at KIC 2025. Bit of a disappointment there that the organizers didn't want to give us anything, but hey, you've got to shoot your shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so we want freebies.
I want 10X's jersey. And with that being said, this is going to be the extra chance that they're looking for, right? So DMT, of course, both sides, DMT and Team HAQ, looking for the same kind of results, but for very different reasons.
Exactly. Very different reasons. Obviously, Dominator Esports want to be top of their team group here, Group B, unless there's some kind of like shake-up that may happen with Kagendra and Boom. But I'm pretty sure it's solidified here for Dominator Esports. The next series is all about who gets that second place and who gets a chance to pick their team and their first victim into the elimination stage. But Tech Pause has no longer paused. We are now back into the game. We are getting into the potential match point here for DMT, or can THQ end the dream run here and actually make Dominator believe?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you really need to, just get the punches in, right? Because this is potentially your last game before the knockout stages. Lessons have been given, lessons have been learned. We'll take a look at how this is going to go down in this game number 3 between Team HAQ and DMT.
Yeah, so far, obviously, playing quite cordial here. Obviously, both of these two teams, they want to make sure that they don't kind of overstep here. But speaking of which, overstepping, John kind of just being forced into Tuff's T1 here as he's just trying to push away the minion waves, trying to get to level 2 first. John actually gets it there, so he does have the combo with the 1-2 here come through, if needs be. But he has no support top side of the map here.
Yep. It's I don't think it's a bad situation for now for Team HAQ, right? They actually have Prior over the Fire Hawk at this point, which is great. But Jill can definitely change that right here. And for now, that will be going into the hands of CC, I believe.
It looked like it. The last hit did look like it go to CC there as well. Obviously, if we look at the gold lead, it is ever so slightly into the favor of DMT. Mon looked to try and go for a bit of a rotate down to the bot side of the map there. Did actually force out the ulti of the Jing, but was able to live to tell the tale.
I mean, it's okay, right? At this point, before the 2-minute mark, expanding your flash, I don't think it's the biggest loss. So, Man is in an okay spot. Now, it's more of like, okay, where do they get this advantage from? Because DMT, because of that take on the Firehawk at the bottom side of the map, they have a slight advantage going in for their goal.
They do have a slight advantage so far going in terms of their gold here. So we'll have to wait and see if they're able to actually maintain that one onto the side of THQ. They've had it before, right? So maybe, just maybe this time, they're able to keep it now. But there it is. It's going to be the set sail come through onto the back line here. But now it's the Razor Cavalry pushing around the side of THQ by having to use the Hardened Chain Seal there. Just going to be driving them away.
Yeah, important usage of the ultimate here to get the potential deterrence here, because they definitely need it. They're trailing now, all of a sudden, 5,000 gold against DMT. And unless Lola can, figure something out on his own here, it feels like the farm lane is definitely in DMT's favor.
Oh, absolutely. DMT CC here having a bit of a free ride down to the bot side of the map here. Lola, obviously, the Chano is a bit more late game, right? Obviously, CC, he's just looking to get that Doomsday Sparkforge Dagger as soon as possible.
We'll see how this first exchange is going to be. Nono doing a good job of opening up the map for the side of Team HAQ. But the most curious form here is this 1v1 between Tufts and John, because both Clash laners have the ability to really keep their opponents in lane, and I feel like that will be the game changer here.
Yeah, a true game changer indeed, right? But at the same time, obviously, DMT is now ahead in terms of the gold lead right now. Obviously, able to steal that away from THQ. THQ, however, or DMT, in that same sentiment, have not fallen to the first blood yet. So really, like I said, as the game literally kicked off, it's a very cordial pacing of the game, right? Like, nobody's actually been able to be caught out just yet, regardless of this CC combo that is the Tomb Master and Princess Frost.
Yeah, very important point, right? Because if you take a look at what happened, Team HAQ, they didn't have information on where the different members of DMT were at, but the moment they saw that 3 different members were at the top, they're trying to make life difficult for CC. He's gonna try.
Oh, he's trying to go in with the 2v1. He's trying to get something out of this one, but CC, he was just like, all right, bet. Even though the odds are not in my favor, I will still try and get resources. But they actually were able to put the pressure onto Lola enough, so he has to recall here. So pressure into the bot side here is definitely in the favor of the MT.
Yeah, and they have the important combination available. L and Joe, the both of them, they have the ultimates. So Winter is here along with the power of the world control. DMT, I feel like, have a great potential. But at the same time, John does have his set sail. So that combination can be interrupted. They're going to start. Ooh.
We're going to start with suppression with the Winters here as well. Really doing a lot of damage onto that Liempo. So even if Nua wanted to, would he use the Tremor Smash that is available right now? Probably not, being so low health.
Yeah, probably not. Tufts here giving information that John is around the corner. This looks like a freebie for the side of DMT. At the same time, Tufts has already provided information for the side of Dominator Esports. So they maintain that very slight goal lead. It's not the biggest deficit in the world yet for the side of Team HAQ. I'm just curious, what does Team HAQ do with this information now?
Maybe just try and keep pushing these side lanes, right? Obviously, we do see the minion waves crashed. They meet him midway, right? Like, they don't really have much pressure here, but it could be potentially the takedown of T1 top side of the map here. CC actually taking a lot of damage. Too much for my liking. It's going to be the Hardened Jade Steel. The first blood comes through, but THQ and L gets hit by the boat as well. On the run is Mons, as they do trade Mon for the 2, CC as well as L, but now it's going to catch onto the back line here. It's going to be that ultimate from the Jing. TNX gets a takedown at the Lola, but Bai is looking pretty low. Has to parkour over the wall. John staying into the mix here, but it's going to be TNX. He misses out the Frigid Prison as well. Now he is trapped in with the Lion's Den, and there it is, the Hardened Jade Seal. Bai coming back with some kills.
I like this trade. This is the Team HAQ that we need. Finally, they make a great decision. They take the T1 at the top. They get a couple of kills. They are now leading the KDA in terms of 4-2. And finally, they swing back this gold advantage. It's not the biggest, but it's 500 gold in their favor.
It is, and they have the T1 in their favor as well, right? So definitely kills, turrets, and gold is all going over to the favor of THQ. They've just got to make sure they don't take the pressure off, right? Maybe they're trying to reclaim some of their own jungle camps here. As you can obviously see that Bai is still kind of heavily present into his own jungle, especially with his blue buff up in about 2 seconds time. Wants to make sure he secures those before he goes in for a team fight potentially.
But we talked about the game changers, and that really was the clash game now, right? So John actually has a gold advantage against Tufts. Now they want to put pressure on this Crimson Golem. DMT cannot allow this though.
Nope, they cannot allow it, but they were able to take it though. So it's going to be that Hardened Jade Steel that really denies them, and not able to contest that one. It's going to be DMT, so now they have to kind of like reconfigure. Did they go bot side here, try and get the T1 down there, try and create the pressure and basically the opportunity to try and steal their Crimson Golem as well.
Yeah, we'll see. DMT, they have managed to find a response in the T1 attempt at the bottom here. So this is going to be really important because this allows CC to farm. Because in a long time... Well, hang on, Joe.
Joel, yep, I mean, we are seeing a big commit here to the Tremor Smash. He does get locked onto Joel. This Winters here has been placed down, though, so just before he dies, he has a bit of a Hail Mary there. It's giving that suppression that locks in John into place. They don't want to see any more of those boats coming into the backline here, or any more knockups, and there is quite a lot of low health bars onto the side of THQ, and now the Mirror Domain is placed through, and it's giving the War Saint Tufts claiming the kill onto John, but they do trade TNX for that kill, so overall, the trade does go in favor of THQ.
Yo, Bai actually got that execution off of a second split, and CC should be dead.
CC fed to the walls there. He gets sent back. The signal shot, and Lola is able to claim a little bit of revenge of the bullying in the early game of this game number 3.
Yeah, this is looking great for Team HAQ at this point. Finally, a performance that they're looking forward to. And with this Bai, I think he's found his stride here in game number 3.
Seems like it, right? He's definitely putting, not pulling his punches anymore. He is definitely rolling with his team. He's currently 7.1k still. However, though, TNX, regardless of having that 1 dep on the board, he's not that far behind in gold.
Yeah, he definitely is not. But then once again, this is I think less focus on the gold, right? It really was the setups that have been cleaner from the side of Team HAQ. And if they continue this trend, it's going to be great. Tufts looking to be caught here.
Yeah, Tufts in a bit of a tough situation here. It's giving that 3v1 once again, and the Hardened Jade Seal comes through. But can they claim anything here into the mid lane here? They're able to get the knockdown onto Lola. So, Marksman for Clash Lane, I'd probably say that's a decent trade here, especially when the neutral objective is now come through. Nobody to really protect that bot side of the map. So, will we see a trade? T2 top side for T2 into the farm lane. It's looking like it.
Yeah, better for Team HAQ at this point. Yes, you lose that Tyrant, but you get a T2 very much early in the game, right? 9.5 minutes, this is a perfect time. If they win another team fight, this essentially...
Oh, the boat! L in the wrong bush! He gets taken down. The suppression off of the gorge here for the side of DMT for now. Obviously, the Hardened Jade still being used here as well. Just maybe to try and drive them away, but it's going to be Nua. They're soaking a lot of damage, so he's able to get the takedown onto TNX in that trade here, but also potentially that T2 maybe falling as well. CC's looking to reclaim that Azure Golem.
Yeah, I mean, DMT at this point, they're very lucky that CC is alive, because if CC weren't alive, I think they probably could have taken that T3 at the top here. And Team HAQ is on fire this game.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely on fire in terms of the kills here. 10-minute game. Now onto the gorge as well. So late game is where Lola should be starting to see a little bit more impact into these team fights. A little bit more damage from the Chano, the pack leader.
Yeah, and perfect timing from the side of Team HAQ at this point, because 10 minutes in, Shadow Tyrant in their hands. They can also potentially stop the attempt from DMT if they want to go for the Shadow Overlord. TNX.
Yep, TNX using the mirror domain here. Not quite having a fruitful performance here on the Jing, but I remember the last time he picked up the Jing and he actually didn't do too well. He had like a very high death count as well, but maybe that's the case. Maybe TNX is just going to be a little bit of a distraction here.
Yeah, because the true combination has to come from Joe as well as L, right? And for now, oh, nice catch.
Speaking of which, Mon goes down. They're looking for the kill onto the War Saint as well. Tufts goes down into the back line. John with the access. He's trying to take on a 4v1, but gets taken down by CC. That's a nice little double kill going over to the Arlie right now. And definitely going to surmount that lead, but that T3 top side is where things really start to come a little bit shaky here for DMT.
Yeah, and right now, Team HAQ, really?
Oh! Wow, TNX, he gets the perfect opportunity, gets a takedown onto Lola, but can pay back the dividends here. He's looking for CC. He's looking to try and get the Hardened Jade steal off.
Yeah, he is. But at the same time, CC is really getting that lifesteal in. He wants to finish the job. Nice.
Oh! We get to take that onto Noah, but then CC falls as well. I mean, support for Marksman there. I mean, forgive me, Kim, but I don't think that's a good trade here.
No, it's definitely not, right? And the fact that it's a potential shutdown for the side of CC. CC was really untouched this entire game. I believe this is his first death. Now, it's lucky for CC he did not have to use the Frenzy. But right now, DMT, even with all the deficits, they have managed to buy some time for themselves with the Shadow Overlord take. So, Team HAQ, that was great. So far, this past 12 minutes have been wonderful for the part of Team HAQ. But it's starting to lose a little bit of a grip over control. And if DMT gets their way, this could be the start of a comeback.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now, THQ still leading the kills here, still leading the gold. Like you said, they did have the pressure. They still definitely have a grip on it, but maybe it's not as firm as it was moments ago.
Yeah, definitely not as firm, right? And the fact that CC now is very close towards his fourth core item here. In fact, you know what? Scrap that already completed on the Sun Pool. And this will be the start of a potential turnaround. DMT, they play the cards right. They can clear all the T1s.
Yep, they check the brush here. They go for the right one, but at the same time, it's going to take down a TNX. But at this moment in time, when there's no neutral objective up, it's not really the biggest loss here. Obviously, in terms of damage for TNX and for the side of DMT, that could be a problem here. But John coming in with a passenger onto the boat here. Joe maybe getting taken down. He's fallen now. That's currently a 2-0 trade here. Now 2-1 trade over to the side of DMT. The suppression does come through. He falls as well. He is going to be the lead in charge, but now it's going to be Lola and Noah with their tails between their legs, retreating as their T3 is being battered by the Vanguard.
Yeah, this is all for the side of DMT here. They can't TP back home. There's not enough time. So Lola and Noah, they have to save the game, but the T3 has already been lost. And DMT, this is what we're talking about. They can lose the fight, but now the base is open. It's a bleeding wound at the bottom side of the map. And if they lose their lives here, it could be over.
It could be over indeed. CC put a lot of damage onto Noah as well. I mean, they're able to kind of stop it with that minion wave just for now, but it does mean that they have the room to breathe. They have the room to go for this next neutral objective, which is going to be the Shadow Tyrant to give them a little bit more damage over. And currently, CC's hitting like a freight train, so having more damage here is going to be scary for the side of THQ.
Yeah, it definitely is. This whole game, I feel it will run down to John's setup for the side of Team HAQ. If they get TNX out, that's great, but now you identify the real problem. CC is fed. They need to get rid of this RLE.
They do need to get rid of the RLE. That needs to be the focal point here for the side of THQ, but whether they can actually catch this slippery Parasola is another question, right? Like, that's what we need to see the answer for here for the side of THQ.
Right, this is all about the rotations here. Definitely Tufts is going to be a big distraction, but TNX, he's going to try and see if there's any opening. Because right now DMT, they're starting to even out the deficit at the top side of the map. If they take the T3 at the top, DMT, this game suddenly becomes in their favor.
Absolutely. Gets to neutralize that lead from THQ. I mean, they definitely neutralized the lead in terms of the gold lead right now, but I mean, we're so late into the game that the gold lead starts to kind of like fail in comparison that it was literally like 5 minutes ago. But most heroes on these teams will be looking at their finalized itemizations very soon here, but then it all comes down to the execution of these compositions.
Look, they swung back 4,000 gold in their favor on the side of DMT. That's a huge lead being taken away.
Yeah.
So Team HAQ now, they have to get this next initiation crystal clear, super perfect. Everything lands onto the set sail of John, along with that frigid charge timing and his second skill as well. He needs to land it. If he doesn't, DMT wins this next fight, hands down.
Absolutely, but I mean, they're looking to go for the Overlord first, right? That's going to definitely be another layer of oppression here for the side of DMT. Just kind of like choose where they want to put that Shadow Vanguard down, whether it's mitigate that push down to the bot side here, as they do obviously have control into the top side. There we go. Shadow Vanguard gets placed down, but John does go in once again with a knockup. Suppression does come through. Gets disrupted by Noah though on the Lian Po, but it's going to be the resurrection that comes through here onto TNX. He's able to escape right now, but can they get the runaways? That is Lola. He gets taken down as well as by DMT with the Vanguards marching through to the bot side of the map, and with Mon, with Nua on the run, this is where they can end the game.
Yep, they definitely can, right? With the Shadow Overlord flying down on the bottom side of the map as well. DMT, they see the opening. All they have to do is to clear the waves and allow that Shadow Overlord to come in. They don't really have CC, but they should have enough damage.
Yep, there's a suppression. Mon goes down. It's just going to be the distraction here from Noah on the Liempo, but it's just not going to be enough. The damage to take down onto the Shadow Vanguard just is not there, and there it is. He tried to slow the burn. John comes back, but it's going to be game 3 going over to DMT.
Clean sweep from the boys in IKL. I mean, they were the past IKL champions here, and a strong dominant performance by DMT this final day before we head into knockouts.
Yes, final day to the knockouts here, and obviously DMT do get to cement their place as the top team within Group B, so they get to choose either 3rd or 4th place of Group A, which obviously we do know now is either Blacklist International or Nongshim Red Force.
Yes, so this is going to be an important marker to find success in the rest of the tournament for the side of Dominator Esports. Now, let's talk about Team HAQ before we move on. Team HAQ, I like this improvement in this last game, number 3. There is potential for them. We can see it, right? And I really need to praise John and Bai for this performance.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely they showed up on this last game, but I feel like it's just, you should have showed up earlier within the series, right? Like, that's where you kind of need to make sure that the mental doesn't kind of like collapse to the point where you are trying your best on the last game of the series, right? But maybe it's the kind of like other side of the coin. Maybe that's their true potential, that they're going to be taken into the knockout stage, and we'll actually see a lot more of a stronger THQ when we come back from the break of the knockout stage.
Yep. Setup was definitely much cleaner on the side of Team HAQ in this one. And you could see there were a couple of times where Dominator Esports kind of struggled a little bit, and it was purely because CC survived that Team HAQ couldn't finish the job here. They couldn't really get the turrets that they wanted, but a valiant effort nonetheless from the side of Team HAQ. DMT, once again, congratulations for topping Group B. I don't think with the result of Kagen Dragon's Boom later, it's going to make any difference. So with that, Dominator, let's see what are they going to achieve in the rest of KIC4.
Yeah, it's very fruitful, right? Especially, like I said, in the introduction of this stream as well. Like, the home ground buff here for the IKL teams is definitely showing. I mean, obviously, Kagendra seems to be a little bit of an anomaly here. Obviously, generally a different change-up within their roster, not quite gelling as well. But still, it's the potential that is there, right? Kagendras definitely have a bigger potential that they did have compared to 2025 or 2024. As they were always kind of like bottom of the board. Now they kind of find themselves midway. Let's see. Hope that that's the beginning of a progression for this team, right?
Right, so let's take a look at the itemization and the build here. I think it's pretty clear that the contenders for the MVP are going to come in the form of CC as well as maybe TNX for his performance. But at this point, Team HAQ though, John, I really like the build that he has, very tanky, frigid charge with the Frostbite Embrace as well. He was the one that was changing the game for Team HAQ because he was opening up doors for Bye. Look at that performance, 9-2-4. Unfortunately, not enough.
It wasn't enough, but it was enough to get the catches, right? So, yes, we started to see a little bit of a blunder here from DMT. I mean, the fact that THQ was able to open the top side of the map, which is something they didn't able to do for the first 2 games of the series, means that there is a untapped potential between some of these teammates on the side of THQ. So maybe, like I said earlier, it's going to be the knockout stage that answers that for us, or maybe it's only time will tell as they continue to progress. But just look like you were saying, Bye there with the 9-2-4 with 103k damage dealt, crazy.
Yep, it was good, but not good enough, because if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, CC, 131,000 worth of damage, hero damage dealt over to the side of Team HAQ. He was responsible, and with this scoreline, I feel like the stats have given us the inkling. CC will be your MVP later. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but what a performance, man.
I mean, it's not like Kin's never been wrong before, so I don't feel like there's anything much on the line there for for the accolade. But the fact is here, you can see within this gold graph is completely different to any other game that we had with THQ against Dominator. They actually had a little bit of color on their side.
Yes, I wouldn't call it a sizable lead, but you know, respectfully, with the performance they have put up, having a close to 4,000 net worth advantage, this shows the growth of Team HAQ here.
Absolutely. It shows the growth, it shows the potential that they can have going into the knockout stage, which you can only hope that the fact is there's no elimination in the group stage is the reason why teams have been playing so coy, because they're looking to try and go out swinging in the group stage. But looking at these head-to-heads here, obviously damage taken is pretty much not big differences, obviously a few K difference from the damage taken, but damage dealt here from John was really kind of the upset here and the difference maker, I feel like, within this game number 3.
Yeah, and you can start to see, right? If John gets the angles that he needs, then Team HAQ actually can find some success. So I think a lot of teams will be paying attention to this. And the second player that we need to pay attention to are actually the junglers here on both DMT and THQ. By actually showing us a pretty impressive playstyle in this usage of the Featherfoot Fade. Meanwhile, DMT actually did fall quite a couple of times, but still, the damage that he dealt for the side of Dominator Esports is super respectable.
Absolutely. Like I said, within the game, like the last time we saw for TNX, it was like very high death, but still they're able to get the kills, they're able to get the win as well, which is more important at the end of the day, right? I mean, yes, you are playing a carry hero into the jungle, and you want to kind of show your pizzazz and your style in the jungle, but if it means you still get the win, you can kind of like, that's where ego starts to kind of like disappear, right?
For sure. And now this is the difference of the roamers here. Obviously, Nono was trying his best to tank for the team, get the setups as well, but every single instance, L just provided the outplays as a team. So much space, and of course, the guy that benefited and brought the team back from the depths, your MVP, Mr. CC, on that Parasolar R. Lee.
Exactly, yeah. Fantastic performance here. I don't feel like he got caught out. Actually, no, got caught out 4 times. I mean, there was one time in the whole game where he actually was untouchable, but towards the end there, with the combos from the likes of Nua just constantly kind of like stalking the back line, and then obviously John with those fantastic engages with the boats on the Seafarer, as you're going to see in these highlights.
Yeah, I mean, credits to John and Vi because they were responsible for most of the kills onto CC. And look at this, John, the way that he gets into the backlines on the side of DMT, really impressive. So I think this is something that Team HAQ can kind of learn to lean upon with the plays from John. Meanwhile, DMT, my goodness, CC, just keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. CC just needs to be like, hey, just choose whatever hero you want to go for. Doesn't matter if it's a Garo, doesn't matter if it's a Parasola, you're fine. We know you've got this. I mean, it probably wasn't his like most cleanest performance in terms of lack of deaths, but in terms of being the kind of like the true difference maker here, especially when TNX was falling so many times, was definitely showing that CC can pull himself up from the bootstraps.
Yeah, and of course, a big shout out to the side of L on this Liang here. He actually saved the game a couple of times because he was waiting for the jump from Bai, and once he got Bai down, CC was just ready to lay the pain here. And once you have the numbers advantage with the ace as well, beautiful moveset from the side of DMT. Respectable performance from the Team HAQ boys, but it's not going to be enough today.
Yeah, I mean, there's been respectable, and then there's winning the games, right? You need to kind of have a bit of a fair balance here between both being respectable.